Welcome to the Ritualize Your Life Challenge, 36 days. We are at day 15. Welcome everyone. Those that are gonna join live today, hello. And those that are joining and watching the recording. As everyone is entering and joining, let's chant to Ganesha and to Saraswati, invoking the blessing for this day, for this new step, this new initiation dedicated to dress and clothes. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Okay, welcome everyone. So nice to see you here. Hello Carmen, Sutare, Theo, Yasmin, Fei, Helen, Rika. Oh, welcome. So I love to hear from you. How's your heart today? How has your ritual been? Any questions? Any sharing? Everything is welcomed. Hello Christine, Om Philippa. So nice. I'm so proud of us that we are in this challenge together, day 15. And yeah, I can feel it. I had a very deep dream last night. Maybe you also had some dreams as we're doing these rituals, initiation, taking time. Like the dream world can also be more vivid. And I had some very beautiful, deep healing dreams, some encounters that moved me very deeply actually. And that's the gift of the dreams. We can, in the Veda, we say that the dream, that state of experience, is one, to integrate what we're not able to integrate during the waking state. And so during the waking state, we are digesting or receiving so much stimulus, and we only can digest as much as we can. And so in the dream state, we have the opportunity to digest what we are not able to digest in the waking state. And in the dream state, we are exhausting karma. We're not accumulating new karma. So the exhaustion of karma can be in two ways. It can be the pleasurable karmas, the pleasant karma, like action, result that fructifies, that is pleasurable. And karma can be papa karma, which means results that are painful. And so when we go through something very painful in our dream and we don't resist it, it's actually a way to exhaust karma, something that we maybe otherwise would need to exhaust in the waking state. We can exhaust it in the dream state. And in the same way, it's also like things that we really want to experience in the waking state that we are not able to experience in the waking state. It can be that we can experience that in the dream state. And then that would be like a pleasant experience that we are now exhausting. And what happens is also for the psyche, it cannot really differentiate between what is happening in the waking state and what is happening in the dream state. So if we stay with the dreams that are happening and take a moment to integrate them in the day, we can actually really release some trauma in the body, or actually get that experience, have that feeling that we wish to have so much. I hope this makes sense. So that's happened for me last night. I had an experience with a person I hadn't met for many years, a very special person in my life, and I haven't seen this person for 30 years. And then that person appeared in my dream, and we had this very beautiful encounters, like so loving. We had this beautiful conversation, so sweet, and tears came, and then in the morning when I woke up also I stayed a moment with that dream, and some more tears came. I really got to experience a re-encounter with that person that I don't think I will ever meet again in the waking state, but that there was a sweetness to it and a feeling that I could tap into. So maybe you also have experienced things like that. As we're so deep in the rituals, we're so deeply engaged in ritualizing our life, like there's a lot that can stir up. I talked about that yesterday also, how a lot can come up from the unconscious, and we can feel it through tiredness or even some moodiness during the day, but it could also be that we are feeling it and experiencing it in the dream world. So Ulrika says, my heart of a tiger heart, my rituals so and so. My heart is of a tiger heart. My rituals so and so. I repeat some mantras silently during the day. Yes, that's great. I also recommend that. Like even if you don't do it in the morning at that step, you can then repeat it throughout the day and start to incorporate them. Christine says, me and Soledad is sitting here together. So nice. Oh, Soledad, much love. Love being together with you. I'm feeling you here. And Theo, yesterday I loved doing both the bathing ritual and the hair ritual, loving my body. Yes. In the morning I went on a walk to chant the Lalita mantra and ended up very playfully shaking a branch. That's beautiful, like a tambourine. I love that Lalita is coming to you and bringing out the playfulness. Beautiful. I put henna in my hair and really took care today of my body, my hair. Friday is a very good day for doing this kind of love rituals. Friday is dedicated to Devi, to Venus, like Friday is in the Vedic tradition dedicated to the goddess. And I often, when I live in Bali, Fridays are usually my days where I do lots of self-care, self-love rituals, taking care of the body, the hair, massage, all of that. So, on the note of dreams, I have been having encounters with my mom and integrating the experiences at the altar. Yeah, wonderful. Oops. Wonderful. Yasmin sends a heart. Hello everyone that is joining. So people I don't know, please say hello and tell me where you're from and what brought you here to the Ritualise Your Life Challenge. I am bleeding, so I'm doing the blood rituals. Yay! Congratulations, Philippa. Yes, beautiful. Vera, Friday is also Venus. Good for taking care of our femininity. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Katarina, 2 days without coming to the live, and I miss it. Yay! Welcome back. Welcome back. Good. So great to feel you. So, today, after taking care of the hair, taking care of our dressing, of our sacred ornamentation, and I divided that actually into two because we have two different mantras in the Vedic tradition. We have one mantra for putting clothes on, a vastram it's called. Vastram is called a cloth. And then we have another mantra for ornaments, jewelries and malas and necklaces that I will share with you tomorrow if we wake up. So today is dedicated to the dress. And so the idea, right, when we dress or when we put ornaments is that we bring out the beauty that is already there. So same with the clothes, like I really love to dress up. Since a little girl, I love to put on different dresses and take on different characters. And so there was a time in my life where I was wearing only very simple clothes. So when I came to the ashram, for quite a few years I would wear only this salwar. This salwar are these like Indian cloths, very, very neat and white. And it served its purpose. It was great to have that time in my life, and it may come back again, who knows, where I didn't really think about my clothes or what I would what I was dressing, it was all about just studying. It was all about like spending as little time as possible in thinking what I'm going to wear, because it can take up a lot of time, right? And at that time, it was not important for me. All I wanted was to spend as much time as possible with the teachings, in my sadhana, in chanting mantras, in doing the rituals, etc. So I didn't really take care of that aspect. And it was right at that time. And I can also say that like a part of me was rejecting that femininity, that side that has a value for dressing beautifully, but not actually to create attention or seduce. Right? That's maybe where I was relating it at that time. Like when I was a teenager, like I would dress either to be cool. I would dress something so that I would create an impression in someone or get their attention. I would dress something, like what it comes to me is like Levi's jeans. Like it was so important to have Levi's jeans as a teenager. And if you wouldn't have Levi's jeans, it felt like you don't belong. And so then I would dress in order to belong or be accepted. And so not when I was a small girl, like as a little girl, there was the magical child just having fun with all these different dresses and taking on different characters. But then along the way, I lost that and became that teenager. And like many teenagers, were dressing in order to impress. And then what happened, like many years after, when I started to live this yogic life, I feel like at that time when I was in that ashram, a part of me was rejecting actually that part in me. Like one, the magical child that just that doesn't really care, but is just playful. And two, the part that is actually scared of not belonging, scared of being judged for what she wears. Because even as an adult, like in depending which society we are or where we live, like also for example in Bali, there's a whole dress code. Or if you live in a city, if you go to different places, like Sweden has its dress code, I feel, and Switzerland has its dress code, and then Berlin, like there's a fashion there, a style, and based on what we wear, we are kind of put into a certain category. And the same is also in Bali, like in that whole spiritual world. If you wear something particular, you seem to be more spiritual or not. And of course, all of this has to drop. And so at that time when I was in the ashram, I didn't want to spend time with all of that and just focus on the teachings. But I know a part of me was also judging that part a little bit, like was a little bit, yeah, I would say judging like this fashion or paying overly attention to what we wear and how we look. And so I was at that time like not spending much time with that and rejecting that part. And so after a few years, I noticed that it doesn't feel fully true to, at that time, after a few years, it felt like, no, but actually I do want to, again, embrace these parts. I do want to embrace the magical child. I do want to embrace the teenager. I also want to embrace the adult that is living in the world and is socializing and just out there. And so actually a whole healing process started after the whole ashram time. Because during the ashram, when I was in this yogic lifestyle, like I wouldn't care about it. I wouldn't focus it. I was just focusing on other things because there was so much to learn. I didn't really have much time to think about all these things. And the ashram life is very intense. You have class from morning 5 all the way until evening at 9 o'clock, and there's so much to study. So that's a great time out, and it served so much its purpose. But at the same time also, like all these parts that we haven't integrated, they are all still there in the unconscious. And so when I moved back to Bali and then started to have more time again, like this part started to surface actually, like the desire to just dress up and just have fun, but noticing that part that is judging and not feeling totally comfortable in her own skin or self-conscious about what she wears, fear of not belonging, fear of judging based on what she's wearing or what she's not wearing. And so it became very obvious that there are many parts in me that hadn't been integrated, and all related to clothes. Like, it's quite crazy, like how many parts I uncovered based on dressing. And I can see it now also, having worked for many years now with beings, women especially. Like there hasn't, I can see it when this self-confidence is not yet there. There's still a lot of self-judgment based on what we wear or don't wear, and it's so liberating to heal that and really come into into a place of whatever I wear, if I wear this or that or not, I'm okay, I'm lovable, I'm acceptable, I love myself. And so for me, how it helped to come to that place in my heart is, one, through this mantra that I'm going to share with you now, and really say this prayer. I invoke the goddess, I invoke the sacred in this garment, in this clothes, and I adorn my body temple. So I'm not here to prove something, like I'm not here to hide something, I'm not here to impress actually anyone. And if that energy comes, I become aware of it. Okay, like as I dress, like as when you put the clothes on, that awareness can be there. There's nothing wrong with wanting to impress. It's just, is it an unconscious desire to impress or a conscious desire? Like, do I put this on now consciously, knowing that I put these clothes on to embody this character? So there's an awareness there and a prayerfulness. I'm putting these clothes on to bring out my Kaliness, like I'm bringing out this part in me that is in touch with her emotion. So then I would maybe wear black to like really bring that out. Or I'm going to wear red to invoke the Shakti, like she who is really radiant and powerful, because the color also can have a big influence, right, in how we feel. Or I'm going to wear this goddess dress to invoke the goddess in me and to really embody the goddess, feel like a goddess, see myself as the goddess. Like, so each of the different dresses we choose, when we do it consciously, it can become very healing and very empowering. It can also be that I'm like consciously, I'm just going to wear this now, whatever, a sweater, and there's not a character that I want to bring out, rather than I just want to be comfortable and comfortable, tomboy, for example, right? But even then I can chant this mantra. I dress in order to adorn this body temple. It's a very simple mantra I'm going to share with you. And so also, maybe one more thing, like even if we want to seduce, often women, we have worn things in order to seduce, but again, it's an unconscious seduction. And when it's an unconscious seduction, then people will not feel safe with me. There's some energy that is leaking. It doesn't feel straightforward. But if I'm aware that I want to seduce and I do it consciously, like and I'm owning it up, then it's safe. Like I'm embodying that sacred erotic archetype, for example. And that's especially important then when we talk about relationship and coming into relationship with other beings, and you want to play out different characters, which is very beautiful. Many of these things we're going to do in our immersion in Portugal that I'm holding this year in Portugal, end of October. It's called Nectar of You. So there it's actually all about bringing out these different archetypes and having certain clothes, or not, we don't need the clothes, but the clothes really helps to bring out these different archetypes and play with it rather than identify with it and create a persona based on what I wear or who I want to be in the world, rather than I use it as a tool, because everything really in life is meant as a tool. Like this body we saw yesterday also, it's meant as a tool in order to eventually discover our essential wholeness, live as a free being, embody the love that we are. But every tool can also be abused or misused. And so same with the clothes. I can really have fun and ritualize my dressing, my clothing, or it can also become or stay a way for me to feel disempowered and hide behind my clothes, hide behind the mask. And so that's the same with the makeup. like women or beings that put on makeup. Do you put the makeup in order to hide something and to cover up, or do you put it in order to bring out the beauty that you are? And so in the Vedic tradition, all the clothes, the ornaments, if we put kajal, black line under the eyes, or red lips, it's not to hide, it's not to make up for something. Like even the word make up, it means like I'm making up, but it's not to make up or to hide or to impress in that sense where I'm going to impress so that I'm approved and validated by society. All the ornaments, the dressing, the red lips, it's all to bring out the goddess that you are, the god that you are, bring out the sacred, and like see it as an art, like a painting that is there, where we add color and we add a certain shade, and then there is that's what we call sacred beauty. Like then there is this art piece. It mesmerizes one. There's a play there, a playfulness, but there's no identity with that. I don't make a judgment based on myself. It's simply a sacred play. So how does that land for you? Does that make any sense? Can you relate to that? Vera says, I think that you should use your live streams as podcasts on Spotify. You're really good and talented. Thank you. Thankful for your knowledge sharing. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I do have a podcast. It's called Born to be Free. Actually, there are quite a few sessions. And I've been thinking of maybe then slowly uploading all these lives as well, because they have been potent. There have been so many beautiful beings like you coming and inspiring me deeply. Bearlene says, makes so much sense. I love it. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah. So basically it's that, like after all these studies and inquiry, like we can be so inspired, and in that process, like just simply summing up, can be sometimes that we reject certain parts, and we eventually get to really embrace all these parts that we have rejected, and so integrate them. And so for me it has been like concerning dressing, clothing, it was the magical child that I kind of pushed away, so she came back, and just to have fun with dressing. Then the teenager, I had to really integrate, the one that made a strong judgment upon herself based on what she wears or doesn't wear, and the fear of not belonging. That one was a big one. Still can come up, but it's very less there nowadays, but it can still come up. And when it comes up, like what is important in that moment is then that we hold that part and not come in like, oh, you shouldn't feel this now anymore. You've been on this journey for so long. How come you're still dealing with that? Like that can happen. And we just got to be very gentle with ourselves, because these wounds go so deep, like from the teenager, like, wow, like being in school, or even younger, even before teenager, like the school and kids can be brutal, like based on what we wear or don't wear. Like even the hairdo, we talked a little bit about that yesterday, but like I remember like everyone had short hair at one time, and I was the only one that had long hair. My mom didn't want me to cut my hair, and I felt so left out. It was traumatic. And so the same with the dress, like this incidents as a young person, teenager, they are really can have a big impact in us. And they do, right? And it can be very embarrassing to talk about these things, because we feel like that we shouldn't have this embarrassment. We are old now and we shouldn't feel this anymore, and we should be secure. But the truth is actually so many of us really hold traumas from being a young person and not belonging, being judged for what we wear or don't wear. Like brands is the same thing. Like many people, we pay a lot of attention, give a lot of value on brands, like that it comes from a special brand. It has to be a brand, otherwise it's not as valuable. And so there's nothing wrong with wanting to have brand clothes. Like it's beautiful, they're high quality sometimes, and sometimes they're not. So there's no shame in wanting that. But what I invite us all is to inquire, do I need to have this brand in order to be acceptable, in order to be important in life? If it's just, I would like to have a brand dress, but if I don't have it, it's fine also, then you're free. Like, I just heard about these shoes, like Philippa's daughter. Now there are these new shoes. I don't remember the name of these shoes, but they cost $500, and they have these sparkles. Like, there's now a big thing to have these shoes, and if you have these shoes, you're like part of the cool kids, and so it continues like in for us adults and younger generation. And so can I like have it? I'm worthy of having the $500 shoes. You're worthy of having the $1,000 bag if you want it, but I don't need it in order to be happy. Like, I don't need it in order to be lovable. I don't need it in order to be meaningful. That's the freedom, and that's what we are initiating here, so that I can be free in my dressing. And so the other part was, and then the woman, like the integration of simply the woman, the adult, that has its own preferences, and to own that up also. Like, you have a certain preference of wearing this or wearing that, and to also really stand behind that and feel empowered in that. And then maybe the healing, and then the additional was like the archetypes, to bring out consciously different archetypes or qualities that you want to embody in your life. And the clothes, the dressing can really help with that. Yeah. Those were the main aspects for me when it comes to clothes and dressing. And I'm sure there are more. Please let me know if how is your relationship, and maybe other parts of you that have come up with your dressing and clothing. So, some comments here. Theo says, 100%, I love the way Saraswati comes through you in your reinterpretation of words, like making up for something. Yeah. Yes. So there's a lot of making up actually for things, in terms of with certain things we didn't receive as a child. We do a lot of that in the priestess initiation training in Bali. Actually, we're making up for all these important life transitions, like going to school or our first bleed, and we didn't get that important samskara, that important rite of passage that we need in order to have a sense of belonging and feel worthy. It's very important. So in that way, I really like the word, okay, we make up for it, right? But I don't like it, for me, I don't care so much in terms of like, I need to make up for how I look. There, I really love the Vedic view on like, let's bring out what is already here and inquire, see the infinite intelligent being in your eye, in your eyebrow, in your skin, in this body, rather than like seeing all the things that are not well and it should be different, but really actually inquiring into it, studying it. And the truth is, right, I have seen that over and over and over again, that like when a woman, a man, a being is in their power, like they feel in their power, they are celebrated, every single being is so beautiful. Like I've been in rooms with hundreds of women naked when I did all my trainings, and then also in my own trainings. Like we are there, we're completely naked in our vulnerability, in our pain, and there, like we were radiating, because we're starting to really accept ourselves, accepting the height, accepting the weight, accepting the cellulitis, accepting the gray hair, and it's so beautiful. Like everybody is so beautiful, really. Like, and what makes it not beautiful is when we reject ourselves. Like that's what takes away from the beauty, when we reject a part of ourselves. But when we come to this self-acceptance, which the Vedic knowledge is here for, to help us accept ourselves on all levels, like on all levels really, then we ooze out beauty, we ooze out attractiveness. There's a glow in that person that accepts themselves, no matter how they look, because like we were fed the image of this is what beauty is, the standard beauty, the models, like the certain height, a certain weight, a certain color, but all of that, of course, is nonsense. And so Lalita is really a beautiful being to connect to help us come back to self-acceptance. So, siento mucha validación interna al reconocer los pasos de mi niña y adolescente en este contexto social de apariencia. Yeah, like I feel a lot of internal validation when I recognize those pasos or steps from childhood and teenager time in this context. Yeah, like we all have the little girl in us, the little boy, the teenager. They're still all there with us, and so when we start to ritualize the dressing, like these parts will come up, like because they will say like, wow, but like I do not feel beautiful. I do not feel that this is bringing out that part of me. Those parts will come up, and we want them to come up so that no matter what I wear, I feel I'm in my power. And then I can really have fun and play with all the dresses and dress up in different ways. Like, and I love to do it also. Like I have hats and different ornaments. My dear sister Gayana, she makes beautiful clothes in Bali. And I do really value also clothes that is done with love, like organic fabric. I love to wear a lot of this ikat, because these are all weaving tradition, where also the women that weave this, they put their prayers into this ikat, this weaving, and I feel there's it's like this blanket, this prayer that I'm wearing, also filled with love from the Indonesian women that I feel. So it really makes a difference wearing something that is done with so much care and love and prayers. So check out Kanika Templewear. She has beautiful clothes. And like sometimes also we are maybe wondering or questioning, shall I really spend so much money on one dress? And that's a good question, because we could buy a similar dress for half the price or a tenth of the price in H&M. But the truth is, like, we know the industry, like we know where these clothes come from, and we know how much the people earn that make these clothes in China, and the waste that is enormous. Like one of the biggest issues we have is all this clothes that is en masse, is so much clothes that we have that we're never using again, and starting to change our dressing and have a value for maybe more expensive clothes. But in that way we are also supporting those that are really taken care of. They have a good salary, they can feed their family, and it's less damaging for the environment. So that's a big topic. That's a big topic now, the fashion industry. And yeah. Sharada, why do others look at us who are connected with ourselves and own our style that we are, and we don't care what's in? One. Sharada, why do others look at us who are connected with ourselves and own our style that we are, and we don't care what's in? Why they don't like us and somehow try to sabotage us? Okay. Why do others look at us who are connected with ourselves and own our style that we are, and we don't care what's in? Why they don't like us and somehow try to sabotage us? Okay, you mean made a mistake. Yeah, I don't fully understand the question. Maybe you can reformulate it a little bit so I can understand. But basically anyone that is like judging you for what you're wearing or not wearing, like they're not really judging you, they're judging an aspect in themselves. It's a part that you are invoking in them that they haven't integrated yet in themselves. They look at us like they want to sabotage us as we are weird. Okay. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like, so because they are uncomfortable. Like, I think I get it now. Like, so for example, if you don't care if it's a brand or you're not thinking about too much, and then in the city, for example, there is a lot of many city people, not to put anyone in a box that lives in a city, but often like there is a certain image that people need to or think they have to keep up in order to belong. And so like there is an identity with the fashion, with the dress, and there's a dress code that you have to follow in order to belong. And so if they look at you and you can feel this like judgmental eye, like you're actually mirroring that part in them that they haven't accepted yet, right? So the part, because all they experience right now is just this part that is totally dependent upon other people's validation. They haven't created yet, they haven't inquired into who or what they truly are. They're still living in a myth, the Western myth, where you have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, behave a certain way in order to be accepted. That's all they know. That's the life they're living, and that's the persona they have created. They've created a persona, a personality, so that they fit in. And so if they see you, a person who doesn't need to fit in anymore in that way, like we all want to fit in, actually we all want to belong, but you have started to explore and discover other parts of your existence that actually are your true part, like the self, the whole self, the loving self, the part that need not be validated by the society. You have discovered that part, but they haven't discovered that part yet. And so they don't have any other reference point. They only have the myth that they grew up with, the belief that you need to look a certain way, wear something particular in order to be accepted and loved. And so you're bringing that up in them, and they haven't explored that part yet, because those parts like that do not fit in, that do not fit in, that do not go according to what is acceptable and lovable, then those are the parts that have been judged. And I see that as well, like with my mom, when I grew up, it was so important to look a certain way, to fit in, to wear the perfect clothes, because like that's what is expected and in society. And so then we are receiving all these codes. They're unhealthy codes, but that's what we then believe, and it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, a lot of will in order to break out of these societal norms. And dressing is a big one. So that's why the sannyasis, those people that are deciding to renunciate from the world basically, like what are they doing at their sannyasi ritual, at their ritual of renunciation? They give up the clothes. They give up all the clothes and they walk naked towards the north, and then their guru or their teacher, they can call them back, and then they give them an orange cloth. And the orange cloth they give in order to protect actually the society, not the person, because the person is ready to live naked under a tree. Because they don't make a judgment upon themselves anymore. They don't judge this body. They see that this body is sacred, it's given, and they are totally only interested in abiding in the limitless self of their existence. And so they don't care anymore. It's not important anymore what you wear. They know exactly that it has nothing to do with who you are based on what you wear or don't wear. And so in that sannyasi ritual, you give up your clothes and walk naked. And you could walk naked now, but like in the society, it's not acceptable to be naked. If you're naked, you're looked upon as a gloshach, as a hobo, as a poor person. Because we, in the Western society, we have other values. We have a definition of what wealth is, of what luxury is, of what, yeah, of what it means to be a successful person. Like in the Western world, to be a successful person, a wealthy person, is one that has a lot of money, has many clothes, has a lot of wealth in terms of house, in terms of properties, and that's one form of wealth, definitely. But that kind of wealth, it will end at one point. And we see the people have all this wealth and they're not happy at all with themselves. They're deeply sad and actually feel very lonely. Even though they have so much, they feel so lonely. And then you see a person who has not much spiritual belongings or properties, and they're naked and they're so happy. But like the people that judge you or look at you with the judgmental eyes, they haven't explored that kind of reality yet, and so it threatens them, like they're being threatened. And so we get to have a lot of compassion and understanding. We were also there once upon a time. Before I had a belief, a feeling, if I dress something that I feel really beautiful, I couldn't embrace. With a lot of work I changed, but sometimes the belief or this feeling still here. Yeah. So you had the belief that if you dress that you feel beautiful, you couldn't embrace that. So like the belief that if you wear something that makes you feel beautiful, that you couldn't fully embrace. Is that what you're meaning? Because I also had that. Like I felt like, oh, I'm faking it. It's not really true. If I put something on and then I feel beautiful, it doesn't feel real. And then it felt like I fake it. But that's okay. Like there's a part, even in the Vedic teachings, it says fake it till you make it. It's called Pratipaksha Bhavana. That's the teaching, Pratipaksha Bhavana. You fake it till you make it. So you, like when you start to have these feelings, then you learn how to grow in that feeling. Like you can choose, you can feel miserable or you can do something in order to feel better. That's the power you were given. You're allowed to make yourself feel better. You need not be in your misery. So I don't know if that's what you meant, even if you don't have some special clothes. Yes, okay, that's what it is. Yeah, so like that's some I don't know where that comes from, but I also had it, and I think maybe it's some wrong spiritual teachings we've picked up, that if we do something and then we feel better about us, it's not really real, and so then we reject it. And so that's an unhealthy belief. No, we are given the power to do and to change our feelings. And it doesn't mean like we change it, we feel better, and then with feeling better, we have the resources to embrace the parts that do not feel well. Like if you don't have any resources, how are you going to embrace the parts that feel hurt? You can only embrace the parts that feel hurt or not beautiful if you have a part in you that is stronger, that has the resources. So that's why we are also invoking like Lalita, as a Lalita or any being. And then it's that being that feels beautiful, that has the strength, that has the knowledge, and that being comes in touch with us. And eventually I have this strength and this knowledge, and then I myself can hold all my inner pain. Vera says, I also think that people don't shine so much when I go to the town, Stockholm. So sometimes I feel as I shine so much. Think that has to do with spirituality too, as how much you pray, you look more beautiful. Yeah. I love I play with it. Like I play with it. I like to go and be totally incognito and just in my own world. But I also really love to like play with this, bring out, like really wear something beautiful and really shine. And then I see the faces in other people. Like some people are like, oh my God, is she crazy? And other people like smile. And then other people say like, wow, this is so beautiful. I love it. Thank you for shining. Other people, like, they don't say anything and they do as if they don't see me. So that's a little bit my rebel part in me. Yeah. I like to see people's faces. It's fun. I think we can play, right? We get to play. And if we are a child, like as a child, you wear whatever you want. Like I love seeing kids and wearing their princess dress, and then the little boy has their Superman costume. And they're so happy. Like you see as a huge smile because they have the Superman costume, and it's like they feel like hero, and they are little heroes, right? And you would never go to a child like, oh, this is so dumb that you're wearing a superhero costume and you're not a superhero. Like, no, he is a superhero, and he has so much joy that he oozes out, and then it's contagious. And I think we as adults, we can also do that. I think that's why we are so lonely and so depressed, because we're not allowing ourselves to play. Like we all want to wear this Superman costume. We all want to wear this princess costume, or the queen. Like now I want to wear the queen costume. But important is to know that it's a costume. I don't know. Do you say that in English? A costume? Yeah. In German you say costume. Like, and so that's Lalita. Like when we pray to Lalita, she helps us to bring out this playful side, especially as adults. It's so important, right? And also your love life will be so much better, right? Like we all have fantasies, we all have desires, and maybe you have a desire to be made love by a doctor, you know, and then why you can tell that to your partner, and like then you dress up as doctor and patient, and have an amazing love ritual, and so that really juices up the relationship. So Philippa, also if you are too beautiful, others will judge us somehow because they can't take it, and so we prefer staying small. Absolutely, exactly, right? Yeah. But that's something for all of us we gotta get over, right? Like feel that, okay, feel the fear of being judged, but you gotta be stronger than that. Let them judge. Like they're never judging you. They're in their pain. Like they're judging themselves. They're in the pain, and so let them judge. Like, can you love them? Can you hold them in their judgments, and you still shine? Like, and let us all visualize that right now together. Like that you dare to fully shine, you dare to bring out your beauty, you dare to be radiant. And then you feel other people like shrinking. You feel them maybe judging. And you feel yourself like breathe into your solar plexus, and you say it's okay, you can judge, you can shrink. But actually, I'm giving you the permission for you to also shine. Because that's all they want. Like every person that judges, they actually want to be like you. Like they want to shine just like you. So I give you the permission to shine. And that's the greatest gift we can give each other. One day they'll come back to you and say like, wow, thank you so much for triggering me. Like you gave me the permission, you showed me what I actually wanted. And that's what we do as powerful human beings, like as leaders. We are going to trigger people, and we get to develop this inner strength, this inner resource to hold that. And that's where you become your own best friend. Like you're there for you. You know that what you're doing comes from deep truth, from your truth. You're not there to get like to compete. Like if you get triggered actually by the judgment from other people, maybe it just says that you're not 100% sure yet about your own action, why you're doing what you're doing. Like maybe a part is still competing, maybe a part is still trying to get validation, and that's all okay. Like I went through all of that. But once you really know your standpoint, your core values, right, you can be there and people can judge, but you know that you're doing it from your deepest truth, from love. You're embracing your magical child. You're embracing the adult being that has desires, and you own it. Right? So if it shakes you, let that be an inquiry and see like where are you not yet 100% sure about your choice, your action, your standpoint in life. And then that's going to make you stronger also actually. So these are the kind of things we are doing very much also in the Diamond, my upcoming Master Mistress Mind program. It's a mentorship program. I only have 10 places, 2 are already taken. And that's a 6-month journey where we're really polishing the diamond. Like it's for people that we know we are powerful, we know we are here to do our dharma, but we're still sometimes shaken by other people's opinion. And so the diamond is really here to polish all those corners and let you fully shine and stand in your dharmic power. So this Sunday I have a master class on that, Dharma and SEX Magic, where you get a taste of what the diamond is. So I invite you to join that. Katarina says, I love the name Lalita. Yes, me too. Lalita is magical. Beautiful. But kids like our styles. Yeah, they do. Like I dress up and kids look at me and they're just like, they love it. They love it. Yes, playing is so good. That is very healing. Very healing. Like that's why Lalita is so healing. Like she is the goddess of sacred beauty, of sacred intimacy. Because in that intimacy, in that eroticness also, because like the dressing, it's very erotic. There is a seduction involved. Like in the seduction, in the conscious seduction, you want to have attention, and there's nothing wrong with wanting attention. And so you're seducing yourself. You become your own muse, and you start to like play with yourself, and that's very attractive and very freeing for the other person, because then you don't have an agenda for them to like be all over you. You would like it, but you don't depend on it. You're like all over yourself. That's very freeing. Integramos todo. Yes, integrating all different parts of our personality. This is a big one. I shine, you shine, we all shine. Exactly. Beautiful. Philippa says, I recommend the diamond. Yes, Philippa did the whole diamond journey. It starts in 1 month, and you can join the diamond. You have included the Devi temple, is included the diamond, and also the Rainier Queendom is included. It's an 8-model conscious, sacred business entrepreneur program that is included in the diamond. So you have mentorship with me, you have a Shakti embodiment rituals, and then you have legacy pot meetings and implementation meetings. So it's really for those that like have a legacy and that you want to leave your footprint here in this world. But it's also for those that go through a big transition. So I've had quite a few that also have gone through big transition, like divorce, changing their career, and so it really helps these big transitions in life also to have a support group, mentorship. You have weekly Telegram support. And then you can add on the Nectar of You, which is the in-person immersion in Portugal. So if you have the full package, it's very powerful. And in the in-person immersion, there we really play a lot, bringing out all these different archetypes and characters. So, wow, this was quite a beautiful live, and we haven't even gone to the mantra, to the initiation of close. So in this dress, I invoke the sacred. Like that could be the prayer in English, or you translate it into your mother tongue. In this dress, I invoke the sacred. With this garment, I adorn my body temple. With this garment, I adorn my body temple. I bring out the goddess, the God, the sacred being that I am. Like I in this dress, I invoke the sacred. In this dress, I invoke Kali Devi. In this dress, I invoke Lalita. So that I can embody this quality. So you can add your specific prayers based on what you're wearing. In this dress, I invoke my magical child to come back. Like in these jeans, I invoke my teenager to come back, and so that my teenager can feel empowered and supported by me. And then maybe for some time you are playing out the teenager and really helping the teenager to neutralize all the self-condemnation thoughts and come into its healthy and empowered teenager. In this dress, I invoke my sacred SLUT, for example. Right? Certain words I can't say, otherwise I'm banned here. but S-L-U-T, like I invoke that to really bring out this part of me, to unleash some energy and come in touch with sacred creativity. So I invite us all to play with that. And the mantra in Sanskrit is Om Vastram, Om Vastram Samarpayami, Samarpayami. Actually, it's a short E. Samarpayami, Samarpayami. Om Vastram. So the S is always strong. S, and then it's double S. So there's a little bit longer, the S. Om Vastram. Om Vastram Samarpayami, Samarpayami. Om Vastram Samarpayami, Om Vastram Samarpayami, Om Vastram Samarpayami. And let's chant it and just see what kind of dress you would love to wear that you maybe haven't dared to wear because you felt like this is too intimidating or too shocking, and you start to embrace that. Or you were afraid for other people to judge you or get jealous of you, and you start to come in touch with this feeling and invite that strength and that fearlessness and courage to actually dress the way you want to dress. Or if you see that you're like overly occupied with dressing, maybe it's a time to go into like the sannyasi, like the renunciate yogi phase a little bit, and just like for some time, I'm just going to wear simple white clothes to like neutralize some of these intense attachments to dressing, so I can pay attention to what is really, really important and see what parts in me are still over-focusing, and where does that come from, and actually have some study time. Like, so white is a color that represents purity. So if you see that you're overly occupied with dressing, it's maybe a good time to like wear simple clothes. If you do not care about it at all, maybe it's great to care about it and bring some of these flavors, rasas, out. So we can chant this and just see what comes to you. Where are you at right now in your life? Which part do you want to enforce? Om Vastram Samarpayami, 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 Om Vastram Samarpayami. So I'd love to hear, did you see something? Is it for you to like bring out and play with the different cloths, bring out the magical child, bring out different archetypes? Or is it time for you to like reduce maybe and go through the closet and give things away? Is there any insight you had? For me, it was very clear. Like the last year, I quite went for it and like had many, many different customs. And for me, it's like a time of like really appreciating what I have, what is, and yes, the sustenance, like appreciating what is here. But continuing with it because I see that inspires so many people, and it really, I'm here to inspire and be the permission for others to fully shine. So that's what came through for me. Love to hear from you, maybe what you saw in regards to your costume and dressing. You can let me know in the chat. And as you're writing, yeah, I can see coming in. I saw a red turtleneck sweater and loose red trousers when I am embodying my sensual erotic power out in the world. I love that. I saw a red turtleneck and loose red trousers when embodying my sensual erotic power. Oh, I love it. I love it. Beautiful. When you do it, please send me a photo. Maybe some of you saw yourself like wearing leather jackets and like high boots, daring to dress some things that you haven't done. And it helps so much to really neutralize these parts that are judging. Like we all have these parts in us that are that are judging. And it's just the part in us that wants to come out. And we can support that. I invoke more nice clothes. Beautiful. I see that for you. Nice clothes. And what you can also do, like what we do a lot in Bali, is actually we have a lot of these clothes sharings. Like we come together and everyone brings their old clothes, but like we make an agreement. It's nice clothes. It's clean, it has no holes, and you can also ask your sacred friends, community, let's have a clothes swapping, and then you bring some food and bring music, and it's super fun to have clothes swapping, and suddenly you have a whole new wardrobe without spending any money. Philippa says, I'm also in a moment to enjoy what I have and use the customs that I didn't use so much. Beautiful. And just as we're talking about this topic, like all this judgment, all this pressure, it can release and be neutralized. Thank you. I grew up in a family where I was taught it was vain to care what I look like. Yeah. I always loved to play dress up. Now I'm allowing myself to play in this way as an adult. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. I know many people think it's vain to play with the dressing. Yeah. It's still very much there in our society. Yasmin says, I saw really appreciating my hips and womb and adorning the area with loose clothing or wraps. Oh, that's very beautiful. Yeah, that's very sensual. I have been wanting to wear layered desert clothing for some time too. Beautiful. Yes, please do it. And everyone who does it, we're all giving each other the permission to do it. And it's an inspiration. And then they're so beautiful to see a being that wears it, owns it, and looks at you and says you can also do it. It's not the competition. It's not for me to be better than you or in any way. It's just we're in the sacred lila, in the sacred play. Christine says, saw a very transparent white dress, letting myself be fully seen. Ooh. I can see you in it. Yeah, that's very, very beautiful. Yeah, because we all long to be seen, don't we? And we can own that. Yeah, there's no shame in it. And so when we have this dress, this initiation, we're owning that we want to be seen, and we let ourselves be seen by ourselves, and then also by others, the ones that can really appreciate it, because that feels more safe. And then eventually we let ourselves be seen by everyone and let them be triggered or judged, even judging, but knowing that we're all coming from this deep core truth to embody the sacred goddess, God being that we are. And just like the sun, right? The sun is never saying, oh, I'm shining too much, maybe I should shine less. Or imagine the flower, the red, beautiful rose. You wouldn't want the rose to shine, to be less red. You love when this red rose is so red that it's like this wine red or blood red, and you're in awe and admiration. We never tell the nature to shine less or to be less intense or less colorful. We're in awe, we love it. And that's what Lalita is symbolizing, to express your fullness, express your beauty in all the ways that you can. And ultimately, it's nothing to do with the outside, but when we have this appreciation of who we are, what we are, we naturally shine beauty in that self-acceptance and understanding of the nature of our existence. Yasmin says, for some time now I have stopped wearing underwear and bras. That's the best. I don't wear bras since a long time, and underwear just sometimes, and it's so good to be free from it. I feel more free and relaxed beneath my clothes. Yes. I recommend everyone, especially all the women who have breasts, to wear no bra. It's so liberating, right? And these metals that are holding the breast, they're actually very unhealthy, like it restricts your breathing. It also attracts the electromagnetic field. Do I say that correctly? Like it attracts the, not the electromagnetic field, but it attracts the all the, what's it called? Anyone can help me? Yeah, the word is not coming right now, but it attracts all these frequencies that are not healthy for us, basically. The current, yeah, I've heard of that, but there's something else. Yeah, it's not coming right now. But basically, it constricts our breathing, and we have this belief that it actually helps that our breasts do not get soggy, right? That they don't fall. But the truth is actually when we use these bras, we lose our muscles. Our own muscles start to loosen, and so being without bra, our muscles actually hold the breast naturally up. Electromagnetic field or EMF. Yeah, maybe it is maybe that. It enhances and attracts. I'm no pro in that, but that's what it could be. Yeah. That it attracts that. The electromagnetic field, it activates, and then the radiation, that was the word. Like we attract radiation. Yes. The different radiations. These bras that have this the words today are a little bit less. The wires, like the bra wires attract the radiations. Yeah, at least that's what I read. And it is a myth that the underwire, underwire. It's a myth that actually the bra helps to keep the breast up. As studies have shown that women who do not wear bras, actually they stay longer higher. Yeah. And women who do wear bra, they get starting to have soggy breasts. And then there, of course, we have all these different exercises we can do, the breast massage, that help the breast to be, our muscles to be stronger. And also we say that the breasts actually become bigger if we want to have bigger breasts. That's another question, like do we have to have bigger breasts, or aren't small breasts equally beautiful and sexy? So that goes back to all the social ideas that we have picked up. I think all sizes are equally beautiful and definitely sacred. Yeah. So being without bra has so many benefits, and especially then doing breast massage. But that's a whole other topic. And then also the underwear, like wearing no underwear, it really helps them to not, especially if we have underwear, like it's more difficult to breathe for the yoni. So it's very healthy for the yoni to be without underwear sometimes and just have the natural fresh air ventilating, and so she can breathe, especially if we're prone to like UTI or candida. It's very important to have fresh air. But again, that's a whole other topic we can discuss another time. Okay, so thank you everyone. We're going to close here. This was a long one. Thank you for staying with me so long. It's been wonderful. Ulrika says, I got bigger breasts now when I got older. Actually, I now miss my small ones a bit. Not so heavy. Yes. Yeah. Also the hormonal change, right? Yeah. Okay. This is the mantra you can chant when you are dressing yourself. Dress yourself with love and care. Like it's so simple, but it's in that simplicity of dressing yourself with love and care, with that awareness, Om Vastram Samarpayami, and with whatever intention it is, let it be for bringing back the sacredness of your being and remembering you're adorning the temple. Like you are the presiding deity and your body is your temple. And so whatever you're wearing, basically, by what you're wearing, the goddess is wearing through you. And ultimately we discover that actually the whole universe is my ornament. The whole universe is my garment. That's a beautiful meditation. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. It's been lovely. And if we wake up tomorrow, see you tomorrow for day 16, a new initiation. Om.